Hello, welcome to Kyle Talks at Random. Several years ago, in anticipation of the Dodds ruling, New York passed abortion legislation. There were many social media posts announcing it at the time, claiming it allowed abortions until birth. I remember my Relief Society president posting about it, specifically saying that she didn't want anyone to comment explaining or defending the law. I also had a bishopric member who made a point of telling me how awful Democrats are, as you can see by what they did in New York. Eventually, I asked him if he had read the bill. He had not. I told him not to mention it again until he read it himself. He never mentioned it again. During the last campaign season, someone told me that you can know the Democratic presidential candidate's abortion policy from looking at what the big blue states are doing. And he claimed that the big blue states are not putting any limits on abortion. I went and looked that up for myself. Turns out, New York, California, and Illinois all ban abortions once the fetus is considered viable, which is around 24 weeks. These states do all allow exceptions in case of health or life of the mother. So everything I was told by my church leaders and, of course, on social media about Democrats and abortion was an outright lie. Another reminder that when I hear about extreme and unreasonable legislation, I should read it for myself. People are always asking me, how can I support candidates that support abortion of healthy pregnancies up until birth? The answer is, I don't. I do want to talk about some of these more restrictive bans that are in place. Utah's more restrictive abortion ban continues to be held up in the state's courts, so let's talk about Idaho's instead. I was surprised to see that Idaho doctors were sending their patients to Utah for abortions. You see, Idaho has enacted a strict abortion ban. The Idaho law states that a physician may perform an abortion if the abortion was necessary to prevent the death of a pregnant woman. It doesn't allow an abortion for the health of a woman, and even if a doctor does believe that it's a matter of life or death, they still have to convince a jury of 12 random people that it was a matter of life or death. And the prosecutors will always be able to find a doctor who will get up there and testify that it wasn't. So doctors in Idaho have decided they'd rather just fly their patients to another hospital where the doctors can give these women the health care they need for their health and safety without having to worry about being in prison, and convince 12 random people that he made the right decision. When I was in college, I briefly volunteered at a facility that provided support to rape victims. I was trained on the rape kit procedure, and it was explained that the rape kit could be refrigerated for up to 30 days while the victim decided whether to file a report. You see, a lot of rape victims decide that they do not want to make their story public, and they never go to the police. But Idaho requires victims to provide a copy of the police report to the physician in order to get an abortion, thus taking that choice from many victims. When I was younger, I was fervently anti-abortion. Life begins at conception was my belief, or at least I thought it was. Since then, I've come across pro-life material that points out that if you believe life begins at conception, you wouldn't support abortion even in cases of rape or life of the mother. It's God's will, they explain. I can't agree with these extreme positions, and I no longer call myself pro-life, and I no longer claim that life begins at conception. I do not celebrate abortions, and I do not want more abortions. I want less abortions. I support many policies that have proven to lower abortion rates, such as consent education, contraceptive education, medical care, and career support for expectant and new mothers. Abortion is a very difficult and nuanced topic. But I think we could find a lot of common ground if we weren't so busy accusing the other one of being completely and totally evil. I think we all want consent education. I think we all want some limits. The states that don't have limits are the purple states, where you have split government, where the Republicans are refusing to compromise with the Democrats and put the 24-week abortion limit in. That's happened in other Democratic states, but the Republicans block it because they want a complete ban. And it's that sort of extremism that's preventing us from finding common ground and getting some of these things in place that we all agree on. Thanks for listening to Kyle Talks at Random.